Wait, so that's her master? She's like a child. Been there, done that. Ooh, some necromancy. Yeah, what are the limits of magic? Hey everyone, welcome back for another reaction video for Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Today we're going to react to episode 4. A lot has gone on in this show so far. We've had a nice mix of world building as well as action sequences involving Frieren, Fern, and her adventures after defeating the Demon King. I like the direction the story is going, where we slowly start to understand the world that Frieren lives in, while also getting some insight into her past, as well as the 10-year adventure it took to defeat the Demon King. Like always, please like, subscribe, and turn on bell notifications. Your support means a lot to me and helps my channel grow. Anyway, let's jump right in with episode 4. 28 years after the death of Heimel. So not long after the last episode, as far as this show is concerned.
It's been difficult for ships to navigate, so all sorts of things wash up on our shore. These waters were beautiful once, as clear as crystal.
Not so much now.
Yes, I know.
I wonder if she has history with
To
this.
accept this as payment?
This village.
It's a book written by the legendary mage Flamma. It shall do. We'll restore your coast to its former glory.
She's very fair in her dealings.
What are you doing? That book is a fake.
So, you've been studying like I told you to. Good girl, Fern. Texts attributed
She's
to
proud of her.
Flamma aren't real. This is yet another poor imitation. Man clearly needed our help.
Oh, she's a really good
That's not
person.
your only reason.
Or elf.
Sounds like we have another long stay ahead of us.
Fern's over it. Oh, nice, the snow.
A gift for 3 months of loyalty. Have you gotten used to our village?
Already
yet?
3 months.
The shore gets
The time that just skips in this show is just insane. But for
It's winter
Frieren, it's
already.
just normal.
She's still asleep. And this place is a mess.
It's not that bad, just a few bugs.
Yesterday. It's morning time. You need to wake up. There's work to do.
She's like a child. She really is like a big.
Hero's party. And you never got in trouble for it?
I did, actually. But just the once.
Only once.
Watch it.
I understand, Frank, but
Not
calm
the
down.
shadow.
Oh my, he gave you the tongue click of rage.
She is so funny without trying to be. Oh,
How's the big cleanup coming along? Do you think it'll be ready by the New Year's festival?
Barely, but yes.
I sincerely hope you'll be able to join us in watching the sunrise this time. Sight to behold.
I'm honestly surprised she can keep up with
So this
days,
whole
months,
cleanup
years.
operation
I guess she
is
doesn't,
related
but maybe
to
she's
the
trying
New
for
Year's
Fern.
festival?
In this village, it's customary to welcome the new year by watching the sunrise.
This anime does a really good job of mixing in comedy with like very serious moments. Oh wow. How many ships were destroyed? Jesus.
The water quality is looking great.
Oh
Our
nice.
work is done.
Just using magic to inspect the water.
It hardly looks like the same beach.
Tomorrow, you'll be joining us for the festival, right?
Right.
We're excited to have you.
Okay, she's committed to getting up early for once.
Lost your mind? That's so early. There's no way you'll be able to wake up in time. It would be impossible.
Not if I simply don't sleep.
That makes sense.
You're that intent
Been there,
on
done
seeing
that.
the sunrise?
To be honest, I couldn't care less. That's the reason I'd like to see it.
I don't understand.
Neither do I.
I feel like maybe she's trying to force herself to care, and that's the first step.
The rest of you got to go, so what's the issue?
You should have been there too. We wanted you to enjoy it. You're wrong there.
I mean, she's probably seen hundreds of sunrises. Well, maybe not her specifically, but just
To see this sunrise if I'd been on my own.
the land where souls rest. Okay.
Are these for your family?
It happened a long time ago.
Oh, it's Eisen.
Demons attacked my village.
Oh, it's the
and
flashback.
showed
Never mind.
no mercy.
I like to think we go to heaven.
Until
So there is a heaven.
7,000 years ago, people largely accepted that nothing comes after.
But this
I
is new,
myself
it
am
seems.
skeptical about
The religion
idea
is
of a
new.
heaven. Magic can't observe the souls of the dead, so an afterlife cannot be outright proven. Though it cannot be disproven either.
I, for one, don't
Fair
think
fact.
it matters either way.
Grand scheme of things, I can't say how much it truly matters.
Not very priestly.
You're right.
He's the least
Even if
priestly
heaven
of
doesn't
everyone.
exist, where souls can live in luxury. It's a nice thought.
It is. Especially like during this era where, you know, the Demon King is probably running rampant and, you know, a lot of people are being killed. Oh, there is Eisen. Oh, cool. There's him present day. He's getting old. He's getting very old.
You act as if it hasn't been 30 years.
So, not very long at all then. I came
Who
to
is this
see if
voice
there's
actor?
anything I can
Comment
help
below,
with.
like, who is that voice actor for
I'm
Eisen?
not
I
done
recognize
here
it.
yet. I heard you paid a visit to Hyder before he passed away. Hyder and I rode often.
Oh,
You're much
they still
friendlier
remain good
than you
buddies.
appear.
So you've been here before?
Long ago.
Long ago, she says.
Define long
How
ago.
long must that be?
Exactly.
Probably in prehistoric times.
Not even I have lived that long. What are we looking for?
The notes of Flamma, the legendary mage.
Okay. So that's 2 times he's been mentioned.
Insist. But you know most of her supposed writings.
Or
are
she,
fake.
apparently.
Not? I suppose you do have all the time in the world.
That I do. But Fern doesn't like when I work leisurely, so I'll try to.
So she is immortal. So it's not just a long life. She is immortal. She has all the time in the world. So that answers that question for me.
You've changed.
That's all Fern. She's scary when she's mad.
The Great Frieren is terrified of Fern. Got it. Oh, that's nice. She's using her spell to make it sour for him. That's so sweet. His character design's pretty cool too. I wonder how old dwarves, or how long dwarves live. I guess elves are immortal, but like, do dwarves just have extra long lives?
I spotted a large tree growing over some ruins to the west of here.
Just casually flying at this point.
Felt sorry for you. Not just you, I suppose. I felt sorry for Himmel, too. According to legend, Flamma's notes discuss her conversations with the dead, and how she achieved those meetings.
Ooh, some necromancy.
Nothing more than a fairy tale. And
She doesn't
such
believe it.
dialogue with Himmel is far from my mind.
You know more than most that all magic started as fairy tales.
Yeah, what are the limits of
Was
magic?
it that you had
In this show it seems like there is, but they don't really
years ago that I would come back here someday. What an unpleasant woman. On the very northernmost end of the continent, I arrived at the place the people of this world call heaven. I now know it as Aureole.
Aureole. Oh, so there is a heaven.
And will hopefully propel the research on souls forward.
Do you think any of that is true?
Who can say? She was rather irresponsible.
That's really cool because most places and most magic systems usually have death as the stopping point, more or less. Like, you know, you can do so many things with magic, but, you know, you can't bring back the dead. You know, you can have that, like, Full Metal Alchemist is one example of that. Like, Naruto is one example of that. You can do it to certain degrees, but truly it upsets the balance, and you know, have to, at the end of the day,
It is now home
stop.
to the Demon King's castle.
Why would it be in such a place?
Frieren, you must go to Aureole and speak with Himmel.
It feels a little too quiet. I think she's napped for long enough.
So are they going to this Aureole place to talk to Himmel?
Rise and shine.
That's cool. I wonder if she's gonna be, her master's gonna be there too, since she's passed.
Right.
Say, Fern, is that elf a good teacher to you?
Just drags me around on her aimless search for new spells. Whenever my birthday comes around, she picks out some sort of present for me. She usually seems indifferent to my presence.
Well, she's like 1,000 years old. I mean,
She's a mystery.
few things really excite you at 1,000 years old, so yeah, she's probably very understated in her emotions.
A journey is better with someone to talk to.
I fear it would be a waste of time. No matter how much I teach them, they'll surely die.
Are there any elves left? Is it just her? What happened to the elves?
Work for me.
Because all the magic users we're seeing are human, outside of her. And, Qual. That's just it.
It sounds like somebody wants an excuse to drink more.
Was the veil so thin?
The veil was transparent.
The corrupt priest strikes again.
I love their friendship.
That elf. Journey ahead. It took the four of us 10 years.
So we'll be following the same route you took to the Demon King's castle on your first journey.
Demon King's castle. Huh. So I can tell they're setting up for more information on the Demon King as we go forward, so that's gonna be really cool. Excited to get that history. It's been 80-some years.
That we will. Another brief 10-year adventure.
So, after episode thoughts, first thing is, where are all the elves? You know, in this universe, are elves, you know, are they scarce? Are there not many of them in general, or are they just kind of sectioned off away from the rest of humanity? That's just one of the questions that I have, and I hope the show kind of elaborates on that, because every time we see someone or, you know, a new person interacting with Frieren, they're like, oh, an elf. Like, that, in my mind, makes me believe that they aren't very common, and not the average Joe will see an elf, you know, on a regular basis. So that's just one of the first thoughts that I have after looking at this episode. A second thought is, you know, magic seems to be very limited in this universe. It seems like it can do a lot, and it can do like very random things, like turning grapes sour, or taking off the rust off of an old stone or an old statue. But it seems like it does have its limitations, and death seems to possibly be that limitation. Whenever she was talking to Hyter before, you know, he was saying, you know, if that kind of magic to extend one's life was possible, someone would have done it already. So it doesn't seem like that is a possibility for the most part. However, it does seem like communicating and communing with the dead is possible. And is that done through magic, or is that just an everyday thing if you go to this place that her master was indicating? Another thought is just dwarves in general. We're seeing Eisen, who is a dwarf. He seems to still be alive. He seems like he is getting elderly, but still, you know, alive in comparison to his other teammates, Himmel and Hyter, who have passed away due to old age. So when it comes to dwarves, do they just have longer lives than human, but they're still not immortal like elves are? And you know, how long do their lives last? You know, do they live to be 200 years, 300 years? Just more questions and more world building that this show is doing that I just have questions for. And I hope, again, we will see, you know, or get some answers later down. On top of that, you know, when talking about Frieren, early in the episode, she says, you know, she has all the time in the world to do something. So that kind of just confirms that they are immortal as far as like life expectancy comes. I'm assuming they could still be killed. That's, you know, seems to still be possible. But as far as like life expectancy, if they were to live a healthy life, they would never pass away due to old age. So that's kind of cool to know. And the last thing I want to touch on is just religion in this universe. It seems to be kind of a really new construct. She said that not long ago people believed that there was nothing afterwards, but people are still now praying for, you know, safe passage into the afterworld, or, you know, to commune with people in the afterworld. So my question is just, how has the faith kind of you know, been established in this universe? It says that we've confirmed that there now is a heaven. Is there a god? Is there multiple gods? Is there a devil? You know, what exactly does that look like? And kind of where do demons fit into this? You know, are they the nemesis of, you know, the good part of the faith? Are they, you know, corrupt spirits? What are they exactly, and how do they fit in? Also, on top of that, how does Hyter and priests fit into this? Is it kind of like a Fire Force thing where you have a priest in your party to kind of exorcise this demon? Was the Demon King himself exorcised, or was he killed in another fashion? So just a lot of questions on, you know, what the faith does, how they contribute as far as an adventuring standpoint goes, and how Hyter really played a part in the defeat of the Demon King. That was episode 4. Lots of movement happening. Excited to see where the story takes us next. Please comment below what you liked about this video. As you can probably see, I have changed up my setup a little bit. I'm really just trying to see what works for me. I like how it is now, but don't be surprised if you see some more changes in the future. Anyway, thank you for watching.